Hi everyone, this is Heather, and today we're doing a total body mat Pilates workout. So all you need for this workout is your mat. You can also do this on the carpet if you prefer or don't have a mat handy. I will be using the ball for some variations of our moves. If you don't have a ball, don't worry about it. You don't really need it. It's just going to add a little bit more of a challenge on our balance when we're doing some ab work. And yeah, you could also use a pillow if you have one instead. Totally up to you, but very optional. So I'm just going to place it off to the side to start, and let's get going. So we're going to start lying down on our backs. As you can see, I'm in this beautiful setup here today in Toronto, really getting into the spring feeling today. So lying down on your back, relax those shoulders down onto the mat. We've got those legs hip distance apart with the knees in line with your hips, in line with your ankles. And we'll just do a few little warm-up moves here as we get going. So as you exhale, we're going to press that low back down into the mat, tilting the pelvis up just about an inch off the mat, and then inhale, coming back to a neutral spine. We're exhaling, scooping through those low abs, pressing the low back down, tailbone lifts, and inhaling, tilting back to neutral. So just rocking here a few times, just to start creating some of that mind-body connection and noticing how you're feeling here. Maybe those shoulders are feeling a little bit tight. Take a few breaths to relax them down. And start noticing the connection between the low abs and the pelvic floor here as we tilt and then release. Let's do one more like that, tilting up and then coming back down. So we're going to work in a neutral spine today. So you'll probably have a little bit of space between your low back and the mat. If you place your hands on your hips, they'll be roughly parallel to the floor. So relaxing those arms down, let's open up those hips a little bit. We're going to turn that left leg out to the side, so externally rotating. Extend the leg long on the mat. I'm going to try not to kick these beautiful flowers. Extending it long. Turn it back to parallel so the knee is pointing up towards the ceiling, and then bend that leg back in. Good. Keeping with that left leg, opening out to the side. Extending long, turning back to parallel, and bending the knee. Very nice. We'll do a couple like that. Just getting used to that feeling of external rotation at the hip and extension, internal rotation, and flexion. So we're really kind of stirring that thigh bone in the hip socket here. This feels especially nice if you sit a lot. Just good to get that range of motion here. Let's switch directions on this next one. We're going to extend the leg long, externally rotate, bend the knee, and then turn it back to parallel. Good. Let's do two more like that. Very nice. And last one here. Coming back in. All good. All right, let's switch over to that right leg. So turning the right leg out to the side, lengthening the leg long on the mat, coming back to parallel, knees pointing to the ceiling, and then bend that knee in. Good. Moving through this a few times. Again, finding that nice mobility through the hip here. Let's do one more this direction. Good. Switching directions, extend the leg long, externally rotate, bend the knee, and turn it back in. Good. Let's move through this two more times. Trying to keep that opposite hip nice and stable on the mat. You got it. Last one. Very nice. Coming back in. Good. So a little bit of warm up through the lower body. Let's get that upper body engaged. We're going to reach both hands up towards the ceiling and palms are facing in together. From here, just lifting those shoulder blades up and away from the mat, we're going to reach the fingertips towards the sky. And then slowly plug those shoulders back down. Nice. Reaching up to the ceiling. Lowering back down. I have something very beautiful here to reach for. Try to get my hands on. one of those sleeves here. Good. So what we're doing here is really we're kind of protracting and retracting around the shoulder blades, creating some of that stability in our shoulders, which will come in handy because we're going to do some work on all fours later on. Reaching up and lower. Very nice. From here, we're going to take the elbows out into a goalpost shape. So that elbow's coming straight out from the shoulder. Your palms are facing forwards towards your feet. And then we're just going to rotate at the elbow to bring palms of the hands towards the floor. And then rotating back, tops of hands towards the floor. Now just notice here how one side feels compared to the other. Maybe one feels a little bit tighter. And don't worry so much about your range of motion. Like you don't have to bring your hands all the way down to the floor in either direction. This is really, again, creating some of that mobility in that shoulder joint. Good. We're moving nice and slow like we're going through honey. Very good. Let's do one more back here. Coming back through center and taking those arms back down by your side. All right, if you're using a ball today, we're going to grab onto it and place it in between your inner thighs, kind of up towards the knees here. We're going to get into some bridge work to wake up the back of the body. So again, relaxing those shoulders down, walk those feet in hip distance apart, and you should be able to touch your heels with your fingertips. Have a gentle squeeze in on that ball if you're using it, and then as you exhale, we're going to tilt the pelvis up, press that low back down, and roll up bone by bone into our bridge. Take a moment here just to really feel that work happening through your glutes, through your hamstrings, pressing down into the heels. Take a breath in, and then exhale, roll back down bone by bone by bone. Nice. Let's do a couple like that. Exhaling, tilting up, rolling up into that bridge. Take an inhale at the top, and then exhale, roll back down with control. Good. So moving through this a couple times at your own pace. And here what we're really practicing is getting that flexion and articulation through all those spine bones here. And notice if there's any parts of your back that maybe it's kind of moving more as a unit. Spending maybe a little bit more time there trying to get that kind of vertebra movement. Good, let's do one more and meet up at the top. Coming up to the top here, we've got that ball. We're going to squeeze in on that ball for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a breath in and then exhale, roll back down. Nice. We're going to do 2 more rounds like that. Exhaling, rolling up, finding that bridge, squeezing in on that ball. Little pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then roll back down. One more round like that, rolling up, squeezing in on that ball, getting that inner thigh work for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, rolling back down. Very good. All right, we're going to remove that ball for a moment. Just place it off to the side. We're going to come back into that bridge. So find your way back up to your bridge. From here, let's lift the left heel up away from the mat and lower. Right heel lifts away from the mat and lower. Good. So we're just going to switch side to side here. Just finding that bit of mobility through the ankle to lift and lower that heel. Now, if this feels good, you can stay here, or maybe you lift the heel and then lift that foot up into a tabletop position and lower back down. Let's switch sides. Lifting the heel, lifting that leg to table, and lower. Trying to keep those hips nice and lifted here. Good. Alternating side to side. You got it. Nice. Let's do 2 more each side. Hold on to it, whichever variation you chose. Last one here, each leg. Stick with it. Lower that foot down and then roll back down. Good. Let's hug those knees into your chest for a moment. All right, let's get into some ab work. So we worked a bit of the back of the body, a bit lower body. Let's get into some more on the front. So we're going to start small, kind of a similar motion to what we were just doing with some marches. So again, finding that neutral spine, little bit of space between your low back and the mat. Let's knit those ribs in together. We're going to lift the left leg to tabletop and lower. Lift the right leg to tabletop and lower. Nice. So just marching here, getting used to this feeling, and really finding that work through the low abs and your hip flexors to lift that leg. Now, if this feels okay, maybe we start switching the legs in the air. Tapping one foot down, followed by the other. Good. Keeping that nice knit in through the ribs. You got this. Let's go for 4 and 3. Last 2. Last one. Lower both feet down for a moment. Now, if you have the ball and want to use it here, we're going to lift those hips up and place that ball right behind your tailbone. So what this is going to do is add a little bit more of a challenge on our balance and work some more little muscles around the abs. So if you don't have the ball, again, you can do all this without it. So when you're ready, let's lift both legs up to that tabletop position. From here, we're going to extend the left leg long in front of us and bend it back in. Extend that right leg long. Whoops, kicking a few things here. And bend and lift. Good. So we're doing this single leg stretch. You can always take your hands a little bit wider, maybe a little wider than the mat to kind of help with that balance here. Let's do 2 more in each leg. Nice. Last 2. And last one. Bending both legs up into that tabletop position. We're going to try to extend both legs together now out on the diagonal. So the higher up those legs are, the easier it's going to be on your abs. The lower you bring those legs, the harder it's going to be. I'm already shaking. So we're going to go for 8, extending both legs together. Let's go for 8 and 7. Last 6. 5, you got it. Last 4. Last 3. And 2. Last 1. Nice. Bend those legs in. We're going to keep them up in that tabletop. Now from here, if it feels okay, let's try reaching both hands up towards the ceiling. So a little more challenging on that balance. We're going to alternate side to side, extending one leg at a time, and try to reach that opposite arm back to the leg. So I've got my left leg and right arm reaching, pulling everything back through center. Switching sides, right leg and left arm, and bending back in. Nice. Moving through this a few times. Good. Definitely more challenging for that balance here. We're going to have super strong core coming out of this. Let's do 1 more each side. Reach. Bend. Last one. Nice. Lower those feet down. Lift up those hips to remove the ball if you have it. And then extend both legs long. Extend those arms back behind you. Find a nice big stretch here. And then as you exhale, we're going to tuck chin to chest. Start rolling your way up to a seated position. Good. From here, this is where I would recommend using the ball or like a pillow kind of rolled up, because we're going to place it right behind our low back. It's actually going to be a bit of a help. You can do this without it as well, but just so you know, it might be a little bit harder. So from here, we're going to bend those knees, place those feet flat on the floor, and sit up nice and tall, taking those hands behind your thighs. Sitting up tall here, we're going to keep that back nice and flat and hinge back over the ball and then lift up. Nice. So we're just hinging back and lifting tall. Good. So again, the more you have that ball kind of like tucked up behind that low back, the more it's going to help you here. If this feels okay, maybe we lighten that grip on the legs, or maybe we reach the arms forwards. Now, if you feel like your hips are getting kind of sticky here, you can do this movement with the legs straight as well, just to give those hip flexors a bit of a break. Nice. Leaning back, coming up tall. All right, let's add a bit of a twist to this movement. So we're going to sit up nice and tall, hinge back, and then open your left arm out to the side, finding that nice length, ooh, a little bit of shake, and then come up through center. Then twisting to the right here, and back through center. Good. Lots of work for the obliques in this movement. Feels very elegant though. We're going to just pretend that it's not too hard. Nice. Let's do 2 more each side. Last one, you got this. Twisting. We're going to hold it on the left side here, opening up, and then just little pulses up and back for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Coming back through center, twisting over to the right, little pulses back. Let's reach for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back through center. Fold forwards over those legs for a moment here. Nice work. All right, we're going to remove that ball, place it off to the side. I love that the ball matches the flowers. Isn't that so nice? All right, from here, we're going to come onto hands and knees. So we're going to take those hands underneath your shoulders, and we want those knees under our hips to make this tabletop position. From here, let's just give that spine a little bit of love with some cat-cows. So as you exhale, let's tuck the tailbone, tuck chin to chest, puff up through that upper back. Then inhaling, arching through that spine, gaze comes forward, stretching at the abs. Good. Exhaling under, rounding that back. And inhaling, arching through the spine. Very good. Just move through this a few times. Taking your own pace here. Work. Do 1 more rounding. And then arching through that back. Very nice. Maybe move your hips more side to side. Do some circles here. Whatever is feeling good in your body today. And then find your way back to a nice neutral position. It's kind of halfway between your cat and your cow. We're coming into this halfway point. We're going to curl the toes under here. And then we're going to hover the knees. So as you exhale, let's press away with those hands, kind of puffing up that upper back a little bit. Hovering the knees off the mat here, just holding for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower back down. Maybe sit back, release the wrists a couple times. So we're going to do that 2 more times, and then we're going to build onto it. So coming back, hands and knees, toes are tucked. We're puffing up that upper back, pressing into the hands. Let's exhale, hover the knees, holding for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower back down. Very good. All right, 1 more like that. You got this. Coming again to those hands and knees, puffing up. Hover the knees for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower. All right, very good. We're going to build onto this, kind of working our way into a plank. So you might need to shimmy a little bit forward so you have space to step back behind you. So we're going to come into that same position of hovering the knees, but then step our feet back. So on this next one, pressing up, hover the knees, step one foot back, followed by the other. Let's step that right foot out to the side, left foot to the side, and back to center one by one. We're going to do 5 more like that. Out, out, in, last 4. Last 3. You got it. Last 2. And last 1. Good. And then gently lower those knees down. All right. Hopefully we're feeling good and strong. We're going to do that one more time. Getting that nice strong core here. A little bit of work on the shoulders too. All right, from here, curling those toes under, pressing up, hover the knees, step 1 foot back, followed by the other. We're stepping left foot out to the side, then right, left in, or right in. Let's go for 5. In, 4, out, in, last 3. Last 2. You got it. Last 1. Almost there. And lower those knees down. Very good. All right. Roll out the shoulders. Give those wrists a little bit of a roll as well. Got a couple more moves on all 4s here. So coming back to hands and knees, we're going to do a bit of work on our glutes next. So wrists under those shoulders, knees under your hips. We're going to start with the left leg. From here, we're going to lift that left leg out to the side and lower it back in. Lifting out to the side and lower. Nice. Now the challenge here is to not let that right hip swing out to the side. We want to keep it nice and stacked underneath with the knee in line with the hip. So it takes a little bit more of that core work. It also might mean that your range of motion when you're lifting your left leg is a little bit smaller, and that's totally fine. We care a lot more about getting the right form than having the biggest range of motion. Nice, let's do 2 more like that. Side, in. 1 more. Good. All right, from here, we're going to slide that knee back behind us, make a little footprint on the ceiling, and then lower the knee down. Nice, kicking back and lower. Good. Lift and lower. We'll go for 4 and 3. Last 2 and last 1. Nice. All right, we're going to combine those 2 moves and do kind of a circle with that knee. So we're going to start lifting that left knee to the side, sliding it back behind you, and then lower. Side, back, and lower. Good. Let's do 2 more like that, drawing that circle. Last 1. Nice, switching directions, back, side, and down for a 2. And last 1. Very good. All right, sit back. We're going to switch to the other side. I'm going to spin around. You can stay where you are. So right leg is going to get this next little bit of burn here. All right, so back to hands and knees. This time we're lifting right leg to the side and down. Good. Lift and lower. One thing I find is kind of helpful, especially if this move is a bit newer for your body, you can always go up against a wall. So that left hip has like nowhere to go. It can't swing out to the side. So that's a good way to kind of keep yourself in check. Make sure you're holding that proper form. Good. 2 more out to the side here. Very nice. Now we're going to swing that leg back, kick a little footprint on the ceiling, and then lower back down. Now, very important here is keeping those abs engaged and watching that we're not arching through that back. We want to keep that neutral the whole time. So again, if that means you have a smaller range of motion, that's totally fine. You're going to get better results from holding that nice neutral than if you're kind of arching through the back here. Let's do 2 more like that. Nice. Lowering back down. Now we're going to combine the moves, lifting right leg out to the side, sliding back, and lower. Side, back, down. Let's go for 4. And 3. Last 2. And last 1. Ooh, all right, switch directions just for 3. Back, side, down for 2. Last 1. Nice. All right, coming back down, release those wrists. Very good. All right, from here, we're gonna wrap things up with a couple quick stretches. So when you're ready, you can come lying back down on your back. Send you on your way, feeling nice and refreshed here. Let's cross your right ankle over your left knee and gently press that right knee away. Taking a breath, let's hug the left knee in towards the chest. Maybe we rock side to side. Good. If you want a deeper stretch even, we can take that right knee all the way across so it's stacked over your left knee, and then just grabbing onto those ankles, gently pulling them in towards you. There's lots of glute work today. All those bridges, works on hands and knees. Nice work. Let's place that left foot down. Hug your right knee into your chest and extend your left leg long on the mat. Good. Maybe roll through that ankle a couple times. Let's take that right knee over the body, finding a twist here through the spine. Open your arms out wide. Maybe you look in the opposite direction. Good. Coming back through center, place that right foot down, crossing left ankle over your right knee, gently pressing it away. Maybe we hug that right knee into your chest for a deeper stretch. Good. You're craving a little bit more of a glute stretch. Let's take that left knee over the right, grabbing onto those ankles, gently pulling them in towards you. And rock side to side if that feels good. Extend the right leg long, hug your left knee into your chest, roll through the ankle a few times. Taking that left knee across the body, finding that twist through your spine, opening your arms out wide. Taking a breath here. Very good. Coming back through center, hug both knees into your chest. Make yourself into a little bowl here. And start rocking and rolling your way up to a seated position a few times. Nice. Finding your way up to seated. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this total body mat Pilates workout. Again, my name is Heather. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, like this video, and I look forward to seeing you again.